It is currently the 9th of May 2020. Always name the date because things do change from day to day, especially when we're talking about the tropics here in the Western Pacific. Today I am talking about Invest 95W, probable tropical depression, possible tropical storm located out here towards the south and east of the Philippines. Key thing with this area though, it is still developing. We still have a lot of things working against it, but there is some model consensus in the fact that this will likely develop into at least something. Also, Invest 96W way out there towards the east. I'm not talking about that today because I'm not really all too worried about it, nor is it anything that's going to be affecting any major populations here in the near future. Closer look here at Invest 95W. There's Palau right there. This is Mindanao just towards the east if you're trying to get your bearings of where exactly this is. Low level circulation's located right in there, actually pretty clear on infrared imagery. Big thing though is that it is lacking convection overall at all towards the west here, just mainly down here towards the south and towards the north. Coriolis also very limited in this area. That is naturally just what takes place because this is so close to the equator. So really, like I said, it has a few things working against it. So these are the main points I want you to take away as I go through this update today. It is still a very weak low pressure area, not even classified as a minor tropical depression according to the Japan Meteorological Agency at this time. Still plenty of time to watch this. Yes, it looks close to the Philippines, but it's moving very, very, very slow. And rainfall, I still think it's going to be the main impact to come out of this storm system as it moves towards west. So there's your low pressure outlook. Increased rain heading through this weekend into early parts of next week as well. So that's just the general gist of what I am expecting with this increase in rainfall. Central areas of the Philippines, mainly across Visayas. Like I said, the forecast could change from day to day. Plus the wind forecast along the east coast of Mindanao very well could increase. GFS actually expecting maybe some tropical storm strength winds to come out of this as well. But like I said, still a lot of time to watch. So I'm going to get into that forecast now. So far in this update, I've really just talked about the general consensus of what's happening right now and what the forecast is going to be. From this point on, keep in mind there is a lot of variables. I'm going to try to break that down as much as possible, which is my main purpose of doing these videos. I notice that people that aren't really all too curious about the meteorology behind this usually tune out about 1 minute into the video, so I try to get that basic information up front first. So let's get into this and talk about the forecast here. Well, this is the ECMWF, by the way, tropical depression possibility. And what this says is, 90 to 100% chance we're going to have a tropical depression forming here in the next 24 hours, according to the ECMWF. And for all intents and purposes, we already have a tropical depression out there. All you need is a low-level circulation. Define low-level circulation with areas of convection around it to be classified as a tropical depression. This is the key thing I want to show you, though. This is the tropical storm probability of 34 knots or greater over the next 3 days, and the ECMWF says what, a 10 to 20% chance of that. So they still keep the formation of a tropical depression over the next 72 hours pretty limited here, and that's something to keep in mind. I mean, there is a lot of moisture located here towards the south and east of that circulation, but look at all this dry air over the Philippines. The reason why it's been so ridiculously hot. I know a lot of people are saying you got heat indices into the 40s. I mean, and the main reason for that is all of that dry air filtering ahead of this, and that's typhoon killer. That's why Invest 94W, the storm we had about 2 weeks ago, fell absolutely apart as it approached the Philippines. We got a lot of shear back towards the north also working in against this as well. So, you have these two opposing forces of typhoon killers towards the north and west here, and that moisture coming in from the south and that low-level circulation that wants to develop this storm system. And these two opposing forces are the reason why I'm not at this time saying full on, we're going to get a storm. It's a lot of variables here. This is the GFS, by the way, of what they're saying here. And the latest model run that is the 0Z initialization here. has this storm moving towards the north and west, kind of skirting the Philippines and pulling off towards the north, getting picked up by the Mayu Bayou front. The good news, the rainy season front, by the way, I know if you're in Okinawa, you've been watching this, is right around Okinawa, so any storm that comes through will probably just kind of move and drift towards the south, just based on seasonal variables off here across that area. As far as the Philippines are concerned, though, there's a lot of impacts that could be taking place here. You could have that trough dig down out of the rainy season front and pick this up and pull it across the Philippines, or that trough could stay a little bit further towards north and we could see this move out there towards the South China Sea. This is just one model in a slew of many different types of variables. The key thing I think we should take away is that there is going to be plenty of rainfall with this. The latest run from the ECMWF actually picking up on some areas 1 to 200 millimeters across Visayas, even upwards of 100 millimeters there into Mindanao as we go through the mid part of next week. So I mean, that is a lot of precipitation to be had. I know you need the rain here. You just need it, especially around Manila. It's been exceptionally dry lately, so any precipitation is going to be welcome. Too much in a short period of time, of course, is problematic in the course of flooding. The good news, 1 to 200 is a lot, but we're not seeing outlooks here as far as the model guidance is concerned, at the very least, in the 1,000 millimeter thresholds, which we all know is very well possible here in the Philippines. So thankfully, it's not that quite that high. I think the big thing is we're going to see an increase of welcomed rain here. This is something I've been seeing shared around. It's the GFS 0Z with the wind barbs. Now, notice those darker reds are indicating about 40 to 50 knots. This is the more aggressive model that I have been seeing here, and it does show this actually developed pretty decently, close to typhoon status, but I think this is being overly aggressive. I'm showing it to you because it is there. It is it's a model that has been developing this tropical system here, so we're going to keep a close eye on it. I mean, this is something that it's one reason why meteorologists and basically weather forecasters alike have been watching this pretty closely, because if you get one model that's aggressive, even though the rest are pretty weak on it, it still does raise a few eyebrows. Doesn't mean we need to raise any alarms yet, but maybe it's on to something, and that's why we need to take a little bit closer look. And one reason why, the NRL does have an invest on it. There is a low pressure area being marked by JMA here, and overall, it's something to watch out for. Here's something, though, I do want to note. Look at this. Temperatures across the Philippines have been in the 40s, but see this big plume out here of cooler temperatures on the gradient? That is our tropical system. And if it does develop pretty decently, you could be seeing an increase in cloud cover, of course. Once you get that rain falling, you get that temperature release out here, that energy release, that is going to reduce the temperatures across Luzon and Visayas. And at the very least, look at that, actually, that's showing some areas into the low 20s as this does move on shore. That would bring a nice relief from the heat. I wanted to show you this graphic here because I know a lot of people have been talking about the heat and all the dry air, and if this system does develop as forecasted, as potentially forecasted, we are going to be seeing a pretty decent decrease in temperature for parts of Luzon. But for now, as I mentioned earlier, big topic is that there is still a lot of time to watch this area. I do expect it to move towards the north and west, bring plenty of rainfall across the Philippines at the very least. Possible tropical storm, a very small possibility of anything stronger than that, but we'll watch it and see what happens. Then I do expect it to recurve towards the north and east as it gets picked up by the rainy season front and moves across the southern Japanese islands, which could see an increase in rainfall from this as well. Something a little bit different than that steady rain you have been seeing as of late, all thanks to the Mayu Bayou front, which has been lingering out there. So yeah, we're gonna keep an eye on it, guys. Hopefully you found this video interesting. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please let me know in the comment box down below. Plus, I have another project, by the way, for those of you who've watched all the way through this video, a solid 10 minutes today. Yeah, if you watched the full 10 minutes, you're a legend. Let me know in the comments you're still watching, because you can hit the like, dislike, I don't care. Thanks for watching the whole video. Anyways, my other project I'm working on, I just somehow came across buying, I thought at a very reasonable price, typhoon.ph, which is a website I've been looking at for a decade now. And last time I tried to buy it, the owner was selling it at a ridiculous price. Looks like somehow they just forgot to renew it, and I was able to pick it up. So I'm going to start working on building that site up. Still might actually forward westernpacificweather.com over to that. Regardless, it's a very big name and it's easy to remember. So I'm going to keep on figuring out what I can do with that. For now, stay safe out there, guys. As always, thanks for watching. And yeah, all right.